See, we got music.
Yeah. Thought you wanted me to dance.
You can if you want. Like I told you before we started recording, there are no rules. If you'd like to dance, you can dance.
I have the dancing gene.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Big dancer, huh?
I love to dance.
All right. Not me.
It's in your genetic makeup. If you do Ancestry.com, it'll tell you if you've got the dancing gene.
Are you serious?
Yes. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I'm sure that it missed me.
My husband, too.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that completely missed me. I have zero dancing ability whatsoever, and that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
You
there are
got
other
great
things I'm
talents.
good at.
Yeah.
All right, it is Real Estate for Real with Eric Pettigo. That's me. I'm Eric Pettigo, and today I've got Jane Locascio with me. Did I say that right?
Yes.
How many people say that wrong?
Everybody. In fact, when I meet new clients or when I go to events with other realtors, my little pop by is a bag of pistachios. And my tagline is Locascio rhymes with pistachio.
Okay.
And I'm nuts about your referrals.
I love it. I love it.
I have a regular shipment of pistachio bags that come to my house about every 2 months.
I love pistachios.
Oh, I should have brought you some.
I've got some in my pantry right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we've always got some pistachios on here. We love them. We love them at our house. So, Jane, we've been working on this for a while,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
I think a couple of months ago, but then you have been having some bouts of illness.
Yeah, I lost my voice. I
Right?
feel like I'm losing it again right now. Excuse me. Yeah, and then I had like a one-day flu earlier this week when we were supposed to get together. So I don't know what happened.
Well, I'm
Maybe
glad
my
that's
body
gone
is
now.
saying I'm too nervous about doing this or something.
Nothing to be nervous about. This is fun. But
Okay.
to your credit, you completely lost your voice, and you were still willing to come on and, as the kids say, thug it out.
Yeah.
So, but I said, it's okay. We'll reschedule.
Yeah, I had no
It
voice.
sounded so painful. You left me a voicemail. I was like,
Kind of
no.
squeaky a little bit. So.
Oh no, Jane, we don't have to do that. That's all right. We'll reschedule. So I'm super glad to finally get this done. And I thought overnight we got all these inches of snow, and I was like, oh no, we're not going to be able to do it again.
Over at Chicago Title at 8:00 this morning.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Did you have an 8:00 closing?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did closings that early.
The seller had to come in early,
Okay. All right.
so
Sometimes.
it's all good.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your closing.
Thank you.
I was supposed to have one today.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a good thing. When you say supposed to, is it postponed or off the table?
Let's hope it's postponed.
Okay, good.
As of right now, we're going to call it postponed.
Okay. Who knows?
Who knows?
Leave it to the universe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it's in the hands of mere mortals. So so things can always go wrong. But no, I'm ever the optimist. So I always say, no, we're going to get this done.
Yeah, we're getting to a closing.
We are
That's
doing
right.
it.
That's right.
We're going to figure this out. We're going to work through
That's
it.
the mentality you have to have.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I mean, even with that mentality, sometimes you don't. And that happens. But
Yeah.
you got to
Do
put
all
that
you
good out
can.
there.
That's right. You do all you can, get all the good out there, and hope it comes together.
Yeah, it's just, these things pop up, and it's when they pop up right before closing, it's like, whoa. And that's what happened
It
here.
almost like it blindsides you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And then there's dominoes, right? There's a seller.
Oh,
There's a new
yeah.
house.
Then you got
there's a
people
seller
getting
there.
nervous, and
There's already a little pre-possession stuff going on, and that was like, oh, wait.
oh yeah, that gets everybody
Right?
cranked up.
So, anyhow, that's what I'm working on
That's
right
what you're
now.
working on.
Aside from two other ones that are, if it were, I say this all the time, if it were easy, we wouldn't have jobs, or we wouldn't have this job.
Yeah. Well, that or everybody else would be doing it, and we wouldn't have any business.
Right. That's true. If everybody had the I guess.
I think that's probably one of the things that we were going to talk about today is realtors are a special breed. I
Yeah.
mean, we have to have a level of resilience that a normal 9 to 5 job doesn't require
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
They go to work. If they get the project done today, good. If it has to wait until tomorrow, good. But on next Friday, they're still going to get a paycheck.
Uh-huh.
And we don't have any of those built-in guarantees, so we innately have to have some sort of resilience, a factor that most people can't relate to.
Have you thought that maybe we're just all crazy?
Well, I've thought that too. Well, and the more I get to know the people around here, I think that's true.
100%. Yeah, we've all got a very like similar mindset where it's like, oh, you're all nuts too. Oh, good, I'm at the right place.
That's right.
But I wanna get into your story, right?
Okay.
Everybody has their own story of how they got into real estate. I've told
Okay.
mine on here plenty of times. And one of the neat things about this has been learning
About
stuff.
our other agents.
Yeah, about our colleagues that we didn't know before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm excited to dig in here. So tell me, I guess,
Okay.
as far back as you want to go.
Okay.
And
I'll segue each
Tell
time
the
that
story
I can
about-
cut some years out.
yeah,
so.
sure, yeah, whatever you want to
Yeah.
do. We got plenty of time. So
Okay, so kind of, I think our theme was, I wanted to talk about overcoming adversity.
yes.
And Mike Busher laughed. He said, "You are the person to talk about that." So my introduction to real estate, my mom was, if not the first, one of the first women licensed brokers in Sangamon County. She got
Really?
licensed in 1959.
Oh my gosh.
And so I grew up
You grew up with real estate.
kid. Yeah. And my mom and dad saw an opportunity down at the Lake of the Ozarks when no one was down there. In 1975, they moved down there and bought up a lot of land
Okay.
that they were able to then develop, sell off in 5-acre lots. And it was all lakefront property.
Great move.
Yeah, because nobody was down there. My dad worked for Ozark Airlines, and Ozark decided to open a station at the Lake of the Ozarks. It was subsidized by Tantera and Four Seasons Lodge
Okay.
because they couldn't get people to come down there. So they subsidized Ozark flying down there. And I don't know if you even would remember Ozark Airlines. You're probably too young.
I
but
do not.
They were, well, I think Clay Yates' dad was a pilot with Ozark when he
Really?
first started.
Okay.
And they were bought out by TWA Airlines. And then when TWA started having financial troubles, American Airlines bought them. And I think that's who Clay's dad retired with, was American Airlines.
Wow.
So anyway, I was, my dad had the opportunity to go there. My mom saw the opportunity with the real estate, so they went. And that was...
So they moved there?
They moved.
So you lived there?
No, I was actually leaving for college that year.
Okay.
Which I don't want to disclose my age.
It's fine,
but
and I would never
if
ask.
anybody does the math...
A gentleman never asks.
They're going to know that I'm older than I look. Anyway, they went down there. I went off to college. I went to Illinois Wesleyan. I got a degree in accounting. And my mom said, well, why don't you do real estate with me? I got my degree in accounting. I was young and dumb and knew more than she did, obviously. Okay. So I worked for a lot of years in the accounting industry. And my last job in accounting, in fact, I had a brief encounter with Cindy Grady working at the state of Illinois in the internal audit department at Public Aid. She was working for us as an intern.
Really?
Yes.
Cindy's been on a couple of times.
I know.
Yeah.
She's a hoot.
She's excellent. I'm a big Grady fan.
She's a natural on here.
They could have their own. I could have just mic'd up that time when Dave came in too. Yeah. I could have just, Dave and Betty came, I could have just mic'd everybody up and left.
I know.
Right?
They're great. I live 2 doors down from Cindy now. So,
do you really?
Yeah, I'm inundated with Grady stuff. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, so I worked in accounting. My last job, I was the internal audit director at the Teachers Retirement System, which is the 5th largest public pension fund in the country. it was a big job, and a lot of politics were starting to happen within the system that were not pleasant, and I decided
Imagine
to
that.
leave. And I did some consulting on my own, and then in 2004, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh,
And it was a pretty serious cancer. It was stage 3 triple negative breast cancer.
oh my gosh.
I went through
Jane, I didn't know
nearly
that.
a whole year of chemotherapy and 38 radiation treatments. And literally, I mean, I don't want to over dramatize anything. I'm not a drama person, but literally fought for my life. I had a 10-year-old
Well, of
daughter
course,
at
yeah.
home, and all I wanted to do was be her mom. And so as I was winding up all my treatment, I can remember the radiation oncologist sat down with me, and he was a man of really great faith, and he wanted to know if I was having any, qualms about finishing up all the treatment. He said a lot of people get really nervous. They're not doing anything proactively any longer to fight the cancer. And I said, no. I said, the statistics are more people die in car accidents every year than they do of cancer. And so I don't get in my car every day and think, oh my God, is today the day I'm going to be a car fatality?
Yeah. Oh,
and I'm not going to live my life thinking, is the cancer coming back? Is the cancer coming? And I don't think about it. I really, and even when I was going through the treatment, as weak as I was, on the days that I could, I would go to the fit club. I'd get on that treadmill, and I just had this mantra. I would go as hard and fast as I could, and I'd say, I'm kicking cancer's ass.
Yeah.
I'm kicking cancer's. Can I say that on here?
you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah. You can say worse than that if you want. People have.
I know. So anyway, while I was going through all this, I just had a lot of time for reflection. I said, you know what? When you're fresh out of college, you don't have any money, and I thought, if I make it through this alive, I'm going to do what I always really wanted to do, and that is the real estate,
That's
like
real
my
estate.
mom did. And so while I was still doing treatments and totally bald and totally sick, I started taking the real estate classes with Ron Ladley, if you remember who he was.
Yeah, and he's been mentioned a few times on this podcast. Yeah.
So
I'm sure he has no idea.
Well, he's gone now.
Oh, well, then he definitely has no idea. Sorry. I'm
Unless
sorry.
he's like
sorry.
ghost or
Sorry.
The
I
ghost-
didn't know Ron. I heard
ghost
the
of
name.
real estate.
Yeah, so I didn't know.
So anyway, I did, and probably about a month after I finished all my cancer treatment, I went and took the test, and I got my license.
Just like that. So what year was that?
2005.
2005.
I'm coming up, 2006, January of 2006.
Oh, so you got 20 years coming right up.
Yeah, coming right up.
Nice.
20 years. So that's what I did. And I came over here at the real estate group, and I was here for a while, and then I met Mike Busher at Caldwell Banker.
Okay, yeah, because so the real estate group was here then.
Yes.
But it wasn't what it is now, right?
No, it wasn't. It was this building.
Sure.
It was a lot of the same early people. A lot of them have gone now. I mean, even a lot of besides the original partners, some of the other partners are gone. Sandy Peasy, Linda Nelson. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Linda was my realtor.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, I love Linda. She's
Yeah.
the reason I got into real estate.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
She's got a granddaughter named Lucy, just like my daughter.
Really?
Lucy. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor sweet Linda. It was a 2-year process, but it was during that 2 years where I was talking to Linda like I'm quite interested in this. She's like, do it.
Yeah.
Get your license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, then I went over to Caldwell Banker for a stint and working with Mike Busher. He's pretty persuasive.
Yeah. Yes, he
You
is.
didn't know.
Yeah. Well aware.
And then Mike spun off and went to Aspen.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed him to Aspen, and then when Aspen was folded in here, I came over here.
Okay.
So that was all good. I don't know what year I became a shareholder or partner here. I can't remember what year that was, but it was pretty early on. So I wish I would have gotten that information before our interview, but I was going along just fine. I mean, I wasn't setting any records. I never have felt like I compete with anybody except myself.
Sure.
I set goals. I'm a very good goal setter. But I was still pretty occupied with being a mom and that sort of thing, and trying to make this work and having some success at it. And then in 2012, the year that my daughter left for college, she had just left, and my sister and I decided we were going to take a trip, kind of a mom's trip, because all of our girls were out of the house, and we went to Bermuda.
Oh.
And made a fateful mistake of renting scooters.
Okay.
And I told my sister, the only way I'm going to do this is if we go to the driving school, and we can't have any alcohol, and we can't drive at night. I mean, those are pretty basic
Pretty fair.
ground rules
Yeah.
that I'm avoiding an accident at all costs.
Yes.
But what happened was we had a whole day of just having a lot of fun and going around the island. And then we stopped for a coffee break in the little downtown area, and it just started pouring. I guess they get these rain squalls out in the ocean.
They just pop up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pop up. Well, what they didn't tell us anywhere at the driving school or anywhere else was when it rains, the surface, all the oil and gasoline pools on the surface. It becomes like an ice skating rink.
Ooh.
And so we waited till the rain stopped, and I said, I think we should get back to our hotel and just relax at the pool and decide who's going to take us to dinner or get a cab or whatever.
I don't like where this is going.
No, it went bad. So we're headed back, and a truck started to pull out in front of me. I thought I was braking, and I didn't brake, and I went like 7 times, like bam, 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 into a stone wall, and I crushed my leg. Broke it in like 40 some places.
Oh my gosh, Jane.
Yeah. So I know it's pretty sickening to talk about it. So I had 2 surgeries in Bermuda, and God bless him. I mean, Mike Busher was staying in touch every moment with my husband, with my sister, wanting to know what was happening. And I had 2 surgeries there before I could be released to try to fly home. And just for your information, after you've had a major surgery like that, you can't fly on a commercial flight without a licensed nurse, flight nurse.
Oh.
At a cost of $60,000. It was the first time I had ever purchased trip insurance. I mean, it was almost like a God thing that the trip insurance covered everything.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
So that flight nurse got me all the way to St. John's Hospital. And when we got to St. John's Hospital, guess who was standing there waiting for me?
Mike Busher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet he was.
I can't say enough good things about Mike.
You don't need to. Enough good things have already been said about Mike.
I know.
He's
I know.
Yeah, he's such a great guy.
But when people ask what's so special about the real estate group, I think it's just the culture of caring and taking care of each other.
Yes.
You know? So anyway, I spent the next 3.5 months at St. John's Hospital in rehab. I couldn't walk at all. I had to learn how to walk all over again. And I had a couple people here that handled my business while I was out. And I mean, I really tried to not let any of my clients know that I was even in the hospital because I had people that really did a good job of covering for me.
Oh my goodness.
And so after I got out of the hospital and kind of got back, well, a real funny story. When I got to St. John's.
I'm ready for a funny story, Jane.
Okay. I get to St. John's and the whole, what they call orthopedic traumatology team, Dr. Matt Gardner and several of his colleagues are waiting for me. And I think they wanted to get me through the night to get me settled from the flight and then do surgery the next morning, because my leg was literally straight out like this with metal rods coming out of it.
Oh, man.
Okay. So anyway, they get me into the operating room, and Dr. Gardner looks at me and he said, I think we might have to amputate your leg.
No.
Oh, I said to him, oh, you can't do that. I'm a realtor.
Yeah. And he said, oh, I didn't know. Okay, well, then of course we won't. I would never dream of it.
He still laughs every time he sees me. I know. You're a realtor.
By the way, if you have anybody looking to buy or sell,
That's right.
I'd appreciate you thinking of me. I'm a realtor.
That's right. You can't take my leg off. I got to have it to walk up and down stairs.
So let me back us up a little bit,
Okay.
because I've always been we go on cruises a lot, and so we love going to other countries.
Yeah.
And that stuff is always fun, but I see things like the Jeep tours, and I see things like the scooter tours. And we were on a cruise about 10 years ago, and there was a guy on the cruise who, after the first excursion, they went and did a scooter tour. He got in a wreck and broke his leg, and then the rest of the cruise, he was just
A mess.
a cast on the cruise. He was just... But I've always wondered, like, how does that work when you get into an accident in another country like that? What are their hospitals like? Was that super scary, going to a Bermuda hospital where, it's totally unfamiliar territory already, and now you're in a hospital?
Well, I will say this. God was watching over me the whole time. And I've always had a really strong faith. Number one, my sister is an RN.
Okay.
So she was able to do the deciphering of what was going on. Number two, the type of doctor I needed is called an orthopedic traumatologist.
Okay.
And 2 weeks before my accident, an orthopedic traumatologist moved to Bermuda, and he did all my surgeries there.
Come on.
I don't care what your faith is, it's a God thing that he just happened to be there. The only way you can move to Bermuda or live there is if you were born there or you marry a native Bermudian. Okay. And he had married a native Bermudian and moved there 2 weeks prior to that.
Was he an American doctor?
No, he was medically trained in South Africa, which their medical standards are as good or better than the United States. That's where the first heart transplant took place.
Yeah. So, wow. So, as luck would have it.
As luck or blessing or whatever would have it, I had a really good surgeon there. I had really good care there. When the flight nurse got there the night before she flew me home, they were very thorough in giving report and making sure that she had everything she needed. She had like a doctor's bag, and it was just full of morphine. And when we got on that airplane, I told you my leg is straight out.
Yeah.
And I'm in first class in the first seat with my leg against the wall like this the whole way home.
How long is that flight?
Oh, well, we had to fly from Bermuda to Miami, Miami to Chicago, Chicago to Springfield.
Oh, my gosh.
I had to be taken on and off the airplane through the lift that they bring food up to the service area because I couldn't be transported any other way.
No, of course. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've always wondered, like, how that goes. And when, because I can imagine some of these places.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. like I've been, like some of the places you go on some of these trips is, I mean, it's literally third world stuff, but they have some very touristy spots.
Yeah.
But I know if things go south and things go wrong, I'm like, what's that look like? So
Well,
thankfully for you,
I mean, there's
in
a lot of
Bermuda-
countries you would not want to get hurt in. I mean,
Yes.
if you go to Haiti, you don't want to get hurt.
No,
You
so-
know, if you go to the DR, you do not want to get hurt.
and we were just in the Dominican Republic earlier this year.
Yeah.
But we don't do any motorized
Extreme.
anything. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
where's the beach?
Well, I
Let's
no
go
longer
sit there.
my new rule is I don't get an inch off the ground.
Smart. Yeah, I can't either, and it's just because my knee injury. I can no longer leave the ground no matter what. So I'm. But
Well,
oh my gosh.
after I recovered from all that, I decided I just needed to make some sort of a monumental shift in my business to really. My daughter's out of school, or she's at college. I don't have day-to-day parenting activities to take care of. So I decided in 2008, I had taken the Buffini 100 Days to Greatness. We had it here at the office. And I was following the principles pretty closely, if you will, the calls, notes, and pop-bys.
Because I know we were going to talk about the Buffini program.
Yeah.
Just a quick, for anybody who's not aware, when you say Buffini, you're referring to Brian Buffini.
Brian Buffini.
And so can you...
Buffini and Company is the largest real estate training and coaching company in all of North America.
Okay.
Okay. And a network of just top producing agents all over the country. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I came back from my bad accident, got through a lot of the rehab and stuff, it took about 6 months or longer to really get back. I decided I was going into the Buffini and Company has different levels of participation. You can subscribe to what they just called the Referral Maker CRM, which is their CRM, which is a really state-of-the-art CRM. You can get into group coaching, which is you're with a professional coach, but with other agents from around the country. Or you can get into one-to-one coaching. And so I just went deep. I went into one-to-one coaching, and I had the same coach up until this is 25, so the end of 23.
Really?
I had the same coach that whole time, and my business grew exponentially. Really, it did.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
So they really gave you some tools to grow and
yeah.
expand your business.
Yeah. Tools for not only business growth, but personal growth and that sort of thing. I'd gone through some difficult challenges on a personal level, and my coach, I mean, one of the things that Brian Buffini always says is no matter how tough it is, keep one oar in the water, keep one oar in the water. And, just hearing that and being coached up to continue to do the things that you do well, and, that'll help you get through all these other things you got going on. My mom came to live with us. She was elderly and having problems. My husband was sick and was in the hospital quite a bit. So, I mean, I was just trying to work through all that.
Juggling a lot.
COVID was happening, and our business went crazy. In the middle of all that, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but since
we're here.
We're talking about goofy things happening to me. I was hurrying one day. I was over by the copy machine, and I do these little pop-bys for all my clients.
Sure.
I mean, that's part of the whole Buffini system. And I have these little tags printed up. I was over at the paper cutter, and I cut off part of my finger. I must have let out the most horrible scream in the whole building.
I'm sure.
Everybody came running. Chris Gifford came, and this is my finger that I cut off. It's real weird looking now. And again, I'm making him sound like a hero. He must be, because
Mike Busher came to the rescue.
Almost carried me to his truck and took me to St. John's and stayed right there with me until my daughter could get there off of work. And I went through all kinds of finger rehab.
Finger rehab.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Wow. What does finger rehab consist of?
Oh, it's weird. You got to do all kinds of things to get the touch back because
Yeah.
your nerves are all severed, and moving your finger and rubbing it on different surfaces like sandpaper and different things like that.
Just to kind of reactivate feeling and
get
stuff.
the nerves going. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jane. So
anyway, I was in coaching until the end of 24, and then I decided to take this year off. And my husband's older than me. He's been retired for a number of years, and we both love to travel.
Okay.
So this year, one of my goals was to travel 75 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how this year, 2025?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
On Wednesday, it'll be 75 days.
Perfect.
I leave Monday morning. We're going down to Nashville. Bucket list items, see Vince Gill and Amy Grant's Christmas show at the Ryman Auditorium.
Very cool. We were just in Nashville last month.
Yeah.
I love Nashville.
Yeah. So we're doing that, but we spent a whole month in Europe in June.
You did?
We went back to Europe for 17 days in September. We've been to Key West. We've been to Vegas, to Houston.
All this year?
All this year.
I'm so happy that you're able to go out and enjoy yourself.
And I've had one of my
stuff.
best years ever.
It's funny how that was a good thing.
Yeah.
You got a lot of traveling to pay for.
Yeah, that's right. I know.
Traveling's not cheap.
So I will tell you my best success story from Buffini.
Please.
I've had great referrals. Referrals to agents outside of our office. There's several agents here that will call me and say, I need an agent in this city. Who do you have? And I'll just go to my Buffini network and I'll say, these are people that are proven realtors.
Ah, all right.
And they'll call them, and they've all had very good experiences. So I personally host a Buffini small group, and it's once a month. And Pauline McLean in the Los Angeles market has been in my small group since it started, which was before COVID. I think we started in 2017 or 18.
So it's like an online thing?
Yeah, we do it on Zoom.
Okay.
So anyway, I had a client here locally who has sold a family business and they have wealth advisors in different parts of the country and all kinds of things. But they wanted to know if I knew an agent in Los Angeles.
Do you?
I said, yeah. I said, I know her really well. I said, Pauline McLean, you need to call her. And I said, she's real familiar with all the areas. And so last week, they closed on a deal, and it was $2.45 million cash.
Yeah.
2.5% commission on the buyer's side, and 25% from me having
Goes to
that
you.
relationship.
Yeah. Wow.
I've got another one closing in Grand Junction, Colorado next week that is over $600,000. I had one in Fishers, Indiana that was $600,000. So I guess you just start doing the math, and it's more than paying for my coaching business.
I see. I see. And so I know that I knew you were big into the whole Buffini program. I guess I didn't realize I didn't realize the extent. When I first started here, I got my license in 2013. I officially started at the very beginning of 2014. And Mike Busher was adamant that I take this Buffini course. Like, adamant. You have to do this. You have to do this.
I think everybody should take it. I really do. I think it's got the fundamentals that will really set you apart from other realtors.
I always know which realtors have taken it, too, because of the tagline in their email.
Oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals.
Right?
I've got clients whose kids answer the phone. Oh, it's Jane. She's not too busy for our referrals. And
you know what? Like, it's it sounds silly, but it is so true, because how many times, I mean, I guess I can't tell you how many times I've had a client of mine reach out and ask permission to give somebody my number. Right? Like, is it okay if I give you this?
Yeah, why don't I just send you a stack of my business cards?
Like, what do you mean, is it okay? Yes. Give
Yeah,
my number to everybody.
That's how I do my business.
Right. But they're like, I didn't know if you were too busy. That's the thing. They don't know.
Yeah.
And so, no, give my number to everyone you know.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Make me so busy that I can't
Yeah.
take on any more work. I would love that.
Yeah.
So, but that's one of the things that I remembered from the course. But I know Mike was so adamant, and I had just gotten started. I had zero money. I had not,
I know.
and I think it was like a $400 or $500 course.
Yeah.
Mike paid for me to take it, so that I could take it. And then I'm sorry, if I'm Mike, maybe I shouldn't be telling him. He doesn't care. It's been long enough. Statute of limitation. I had to pay him back with like compound interest. It was, Mike, he's a businessman.
Yeah, I know.
But I took it, and it's one of those things, and I've talked about kind of my own personal story enough on here, but when I got started in real estate, and to a certain extent, I'm still kind of this way, but I'm evolving and growing, and I think kind of the older I get, the more I'm willing to admit that I don't know, and that I can absorb and learn from other people. But I was so bound and determined to do things my own way, and the problem of it was that I had some success, right?
Yeah.
And so I was kind of closed off to things like that, like hey,
Had blinders on.
Yeah. I was like, no, I want to navigate through this and figure this out on my own, and I want to build my business my own way, and I don't want to hear anybody's advice. I don't want to know what's worked for other people. Yeah. I want to just do this my way, and that's the way. Now, though, I'm a little bit older. I'm like, tell me what you say that works, and
well,
I would like to almost revisit it now. I
will
feel
say
like
this. They do these little film clips with other Buffini agents, and it's called their Good Life series. And there are so many agents who they were down to their last $10, or they were this or that, and they decided to go deep with one-to-one coaching. And if I'm going to do this, I'm going all in. And now they have, just huge real estate teams and that sort of thing. Brian Buffini came here with $19 in his pocket. He's an Irish immigrant. And shortly after he got here, he had a motorcycle accident and ended up in the hospital with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of medical bills.
Oh, geez.
So he had to develop a system that was going to get him out of debt, and so he could stay here in America. But that's one of the things I've really benefited from. And again, it's a personal investment, but I go to a lot of Buffini events. I just went to the one in Las Vegas last week.
Okay.
It was Buffini Coaching Live, and Lawrence Yun from the National Association of Realtors was there. They were giving their economic forecast for 2026. Just great stuff. And there was, I can't think of the guy's last name, but and I'll get that information for you if you wanted to put a addition to this. But he does an actual real estate team podcast.
Okay.
And he actually, during one of the segments, we were in a live studio, and he interviewed Brian for about building real estate teams. That was really interesting. But the real benefit is networking with all of these other realtors, getting to know them, so that if you say to me, who would you work with in Austin, Texas? I'd say, well, I'd work with Ann Hiacola. If you say, who would you work with in San Jose, California? I'd say, oh, you need to call Linda Baker. If you say, who's in Dallas? I'd say, well,
you're just making these names up, Jane.
No. I'm telling you every one of them. If you're in Dallas, I'd say, well, what part of Dallas are you in? Are you in Decatur? Are you in Flower Mound? Or you right in Dallas? I know all these realtors. I can pick up the phone. I mean, we know each other.
Right.
Because I have gone to so many events. They used to have an event in San Diego every August that was called Mastermind. Not only did I go, I took my college-age daughter with me because it's just good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, I've seen him interview so many really good people and gotten so many good books from it. I mean, I've just got a whole library of books from these people that have been there. I've met Mel Robbins. I've met Ron Tite. I've met all these people that are kind of like celebrity status people because they do a mixer when they come to these events.
Huh.
And I mean, you just feel like you're working at a very high professional level. And I guess that's been the biggest benefit for me.
Well, it sounds like it's been super beneficial for you. I guess, so I'm wondering, you started with the Buffini stuff. When did you say?
I did I did the 100 Days to Greatness in 2008.
2008.
There was a whole group of us. And I think that was the year. And then in 2013, I went all in with coaching.
Okay.
One-to-one coaching.
But you started selling real estate
In 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
So when you first got started in 2006, what was the most effective thing you did to get business then? Before you
I just
had
called
like training
everybody I knew. I just made a list of everybody I knew.
Right.
You know, I think somebody had recommended that I make a list of at least 100. If you couldn't make a list of at least 100 people, then you might not really want to be in this business. I mean, 100 people that you could actually pick up the phone and call them and they'd know who you were.
Yes.
And so I did that, and that's what I did. My very first deal was a listing that needed all kinds of repairs. The first transaction we put together fell apart because of all the repairs. And
So the very first transaction you ever put together fell apart.
yeah,
Ugh.
it was ugly.
What a rough start.
Yeah, but it was with Father Keola, and I had seen him at Mass, and another priest lived in my neighborhood who had just passed away. And I said to him, I knew that Father Frank passed away, and I said, do you know who I would call about selling his home because I'm a realtor? And he said, well, I'm actually his executor. He said, I'll go ahead and list it with you.
It's amazing how that works, right?
All you have to do is ask. I mean, really, I know that sounds so trite. Oh, all you have to do is ask. But a lot of times we
truth,
get in our
though.
own way,
Yes.
and we think, oh, they're going to say no. Well, the worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst they can say is no. And generally, it's a good reason. They have a good friend. They have a family member who's also in the real estate business, and they need to go with them.
I have found when talking to newer agents, that's a when I say, because I did the same thing when I got in. I reached out to everybody I knew.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that was step one. Is I need to make sure that everyone who even knows who I am knows that I'm selling real estate.
That's right.
Step one,
That's
right?
right.
And is that going to turn into immediate business, immediate clients? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Not like right off the bat. You know, okay, I get licensed last week. This week, I'm calling everybody on my list. Next week, I get a listing. It doesn't necessarily work like that.
That's right.
However, that's such an important step. And I think for newer agents, a lot of times they're a little like, oh, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to, and it's, no, you don't understand. You're not knocking on their door with a vacuum cleaner.
No.
Trying to get them to buy it.
Yeah.
You're simply reaching out to let them know
You
what's
provide
happened
a
in your life.
professional service.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest thing I would tell new agents is you run a business.
Yeah.
You are no different than the guy that runs the business across the street, except he's got brick and mortar and has to pay him this and this and this. you are the CEO of your own business.
Yeah.
And whether it's profitable or not is up to you and your effort solely. I mean, in 20 years, I've had one deal that the person walked in the door and needed somebody to list their house.
Oh, yeah. Here, like a.
Yeah.
Here, yeah.
And it was a fluke because it was on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, my God.
Nobody was in the office.
And you hadn't
It was
hacked
snowing
off
out.
any of your limbs or anything yet that day?
I hadn't done anything
Okay.
severe to my body at that point.
So things are looking good. It's already a good day. No trips to the hospital for Jane.
I was leaving on Wednesday, or no, that was on Wednesday. On Saturday, I was leaving to fly out of the country.
Oh.
My daughter was doing a study abroad in Rome, and we were leaving to go to Rome on Saturday morning. And this man comes in. Roseanne was at the front desk.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And she calls me and goes, "Do you want a listing?" I'm like, "What?" And
You
she
want a
said,
listing?
"Some guy's here. He wants to list his house." I'm like, "Okay." So I go up there, and there's this really tiny, kind of curved little old man. And he said, "Yeah, I just bought a place at Concordia. I want to sell my house."
Okay.
And I said, "Okay." So I bring him into this conference room, and I said, "Well, first off, please tell me your name." Are you ready?
Yes.
John Karasotis.
No, it was not.
He had a condo over in Turnberry Place. I got it listed on Friday, got it sold while I was gone.
Such a weird business we're in. I say that so often. This is such
I
a
don't
weird
recommend
business.
being here on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, but
I mean-
it could work out for you.
Yeah. You never know. Jeez. Yeah, I think kind of gone are the days of people just walking in
No.
to a real estate office or calling up a real estate office and
People are
saying, "I need a real estate
Too
agent."
tightly networked with other realtors.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I
happens.
went to
I've got one listing from that. Just somebody called up the real estate group and
Yeah.
wanted an agent, and
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I got the call. I still don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for floor duty. I wasn't in the office.
we really don't per se have floor duty anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
We did when
people
I started. It
Yeah,
was a
I
thing.
know.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started, we used to have weekly meetings at the big conference table, and we all fit there.
We all fit is the thing. We still do kind of have weekly meetings. The coffee and questions is kind of like that.
Yeah, but you don't get 230 agents there.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I wish.
We didn't have Zoom back then,
Right.
or any of that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It was different times. Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, now you're right. Everybody knows a real estate agent, or they know that there's just,
Yeah.
and that's another thing we were talking about, you know, the new agents. And for one, it's the same thing. Like if you opened a coffee shop, a brand new coffee shop in town, what would you do?
Yeah.
Would you tell everybody, "Hey, just want to let you know I opened
Yeah.
this coffee shop," right?
Or I'd hang up a sign that said open.
Yeah, right. There's that. You know, there's that. But still, wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
You'd do
You
some
wouldn't-
sort of advertising or something to get your name out
Yeah,
there.
you wouldn't feel weird sending out messages to people you know that
Right.
say, "Hey, I just opened this up. Come try it." You wouldn't
Yeah.
feel that weird, but for some reason with this, you kind of do. But
I think you take a lot of people see it as like that car salesman mentality. I mean, I don't want to there's a lot of good professionals in the automotive industry, but historically, traditionally, they've had kind of a bad reputation.
Yeah.
And I think that when you take on being a realtor, a lot of people will think, "Well, I'm just a salesman. But we're not. We are providing a service to people that is invaluable to them. They are making the single highest purchase they will ever make
Yeah.
in their life with us as their trusted advisor. And that's how you have to see yourself. I'm their trusted advisor. I'm just as important to them as their attorney, as their financial advisor. I mean, this is a very serious undertaking, buying a home.
Yes, it is.
And we know the things that can go wrong. We know the things that can go right. When we have a transaction that's very smooth, there's a lot of components that go into that. You've got good people that you're working with. You've got, sellers who are confident their home's in really good shape. They've maintained it really well, and they're willing to make repairs if necessary. You've got buyers who are reasonable about repairs that are needed. But a lot of that is us coaching them up on
Yes.
what should they really expect.
Yes.
And that's where the trusted advisor part comes in. I mean, we can't minimize that service that we provide to people.
No, we cannot. And I'm glad you kind of brought up the coaching them part of it, because I feel like so much of it, and some people are just difficult, right? And we've all
By
had
nature,
clients
they are.
that are just difficult, no matter the amount of coaching, no matter the amount of education we provide them. This is just how they're wired, and there's nothing we can do about it. I literally, before you got here, I was on the phone with another agent. We've got a deal going on right now, and he's like, I'm trying, and I said, I know you are, and I appreciate it. We can't make their decisions for them.
Yeah.
All we can do is try. And but a lot of things I feel like could be handled on the front end with some better coaching and some better guidance.
Better education.
Yes.
Another thing that I think some realtors are lacking, and certainly this isn't all of them. I mean, you can pretty much identify the ones who are, they're not familiar with our forms.
Right.
Every agent needs, when you're first starting and you don't have a lot of business, sit down and start reading through all those forms.
Yes.
Know what they say, so that when your client, your customer asks you, well, what does this mean? You can tell them what it means.
Yeah.
And another thing along that line is when they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, don't try to bullshit your way through it.
Nope.
Be honest and say, you know what? I don't know, but I have a whole team of professionals at the office who will be able to help us get the answer to that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just like you reached out today with a question about an electrical panel. You know what? You're probably going to get a number of agents right here in the office.
Oh, my phone's been going crazy ever since.
Yeah, who've had a similar experience. I had one that was hanging off the house, and City Water, Light and Power shut off the power, and we had to get, I think, on an emergency basis, B&B Electric came out there and replaced the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's you kind of nailed it there, because we want our clients to feel like they're in good hands. So we want to be able to answer all of their questions. But it's so much better if you can be honest. For one, you do want to be knowledgeable.
Yes.
You do want to be able to answer a lot of questions. What you don't want to be is the agent who's just like, I don't know that either. I'm not sure about any of this. You don't want to be the agent who says, yeah, I sent you over the document, just sign where it says to sign.
No.
But that happens a lot. I've found that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of clients who are unaware of the documents that they signed and what they mean.
Absolutely.
And then something pops up later in the transaction and they go, like we've had a few lately where because I've talked about my son, Jace is working with me now, where he's had a number of deals lately where as a buyer's agent, and then the inspection report came back bad. His client wanted to cancel, and then the seller is refusing to sign the earnest release.
Yeah. Because
they were like, well, we'll fix it. And it's like, but that's not what we agreed to.
That wasn't the option, yeah.
And there's one of them, thankfully, thanks to the work of a good agent at our office, one of them got handled. One of them is, they're going to end up going to small claims court over it. And it's like, it makes you wonder, okay, did you not know what you signed on the front end?
Right.
Or are you just being a difficult person?
Yeah.
because it's our
Or-
job.
Hopefully it was properly explained. I went on a listing agent with an agent from this office who's no longer in the business, by the way. And he said, well, I just want to see how you do your listing. And it was his clients. So we went, and I went through the whole listing contract. I mean, paragraph by paragraph.
Yeah.
And we got done. He goes, I can't believe you spent that much time. He said, I just get him to sign it.
Oh my gosh, that's so dangerous.
I'm so glad he's out of the business.
Well, that is so much more common than you would think, and so that's.
I would rather spend all that time on the front end. When I'm meeting a new buyer and going through the buyer's representation agreement, I meet them right here in the office.
Sure.
If I'm going on a listing appointment, they say, well, how much time are we going to need? I say, well, you might want to plan about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because we've got to get through the disclosures. We've got to get through the listing contract. There's probably some additional questions I'm going to need information on. When I go through the data input form, I'm probably going to try to get you to expand as much as you can on, things that have been replaced or improvements, that sort of thing. I said, we're going to try to capture all that in one appointment. So.
Yeah, no, clear an afternoon. Mm-hmm. This is not going to be a quick thing. And some people just say, yeah, just send it over. Tell me where to sign. And even when they tell me that, I say, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, we can't do that.
I say, this is important. You need to know exactly what you're signing and what it means.
Yeah.
And then even after all that, it's so much. It's such like just an overflow of information that I found that later a lot of it didn't stick because I have the same spiel.
It is. It's a lot of information.
It is. And it's for us, we're looking at these contracts and these forms every day, and we can do it like Mike O was saying at Coffee and Questions yesterday. He's like, you get to the point where you can slide contracts to your client and just upside down go through and tell them, and it's like we get to that point, but for them, it's all this stuff that they've never seen before. And we're going through and saying, this says this, this says this, that says that. Any questions? And then go, no, you explained it pretty well.
Yeah.
Say, okay, good. But did you retain it?
Yeah. Well, I always tell people, I'm going to take this back to our office. We've got to get our office file going, and I'm going to scan a copy to you so that you can refer back to it. And if when you refer back to it, you can't remember how it was explained, or you can't remember what that was about, just call me and we'll go back over it.
Yeah, and that's a great way to do it. And I would imagine they rarely do call and ask though, right?
Very rarely.
And we've had situations where our client has come back and said, well, you never told me this. And it's, well, I did, because I say the same words to every person every time.
Yeah.
And so yes, I did, but I understand that we went over a lot right there.
Yeah.
So my wife, God bless her, is I would say the largest contributor to my success. Is
good for her.
Well, I mean, she's,
out there promoting that.
Well,
man.
she's just, she has a great mind for things. And so it's not even the promotion. It's just that when I go and like bounce ideas and stuff off of her, and she has gone through this whole adventure with me. And so she is much more up to speed with real estate contracts and how things are supposed to go than a lot of licensed people.
Oh yeah.
Because I work from home. I've been working from home since I started.
Yeah.
And so we're right there. But she said, what you need to do, and this is what I'm going to do, it's a great idea. You need to record yourself, because obviously I have the equipment.
Yes.
And I don't mind putting myself out there.
Yeah.
Record yourself going through your spiel on a listing contract and a buyer's, on a purchase contract. Record yourself going through the same thing that you say to everybody. And then after you do it and get the signatures, send those videos out to your clients and say, just for a reference, here's this.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And that way nobody can ever say, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, that's right.
Because not only did I tell you in person, but I also sent a video of myself telling you. I super told you.
Yeah.
So, and Well, it's a great idea, but that's what she's always coming up with like clever ideas and outside the box things that I'm just like, oh,
It's great to have a supportive spouse in this business.
It is,
or a
right?
significant other. Yeah, it
really
really
is.
is.
and now our son's in it too, so she's we had to sign her up and bring her on board to be our admin.
Admin,
So
yeah.
now I'm training
So
her on how to
she's
do that stuff.
Real estate wife and real estate mom.
She is. She is. Yeah. Poor girl.
Real estate superhero.
She really is. You mentioned buyer agency agreements
Yeah.
a little bit ago, and we've talked about that on here. So we're a year and a half almost into those being in effect. Mm-hmm. I saw an article yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. I think it was in Florida. A brokerage sued a buyer for breaching that and buying a house with another agent, and the brokerage was awarded $24,000 in lost commission. Mm-hmm. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. You did? Mm-hmm. Do you not want to talk about that?
No, I'm good with that. Are you good with that?
I was curious. Ever since this happened, right? Ever since last August, where it was like, okay, we have to have this in place, and this binds buyer to agent.
Yes.
And it's a legally binding contract. So we are bound together in this here. And if you violate this as a buyer,
Have you had anybody violate one yet?
yeah,
Mm-hmm. And what did you do?
nothing. I said I will not be the first agent to go after a client for my commission. That's to me, that's such a bad look.
Yes, it's a bad look.
Not only would I not
Because
be
you
the
would have
first,
to go after the buyer.
right?
Yeah.
Like we
I
already
had
have
one
this
happen.
perception.
I had
of,
one happen just right as it was going into effect, and I'm totally against lawsuits at any cost. I think
Yeah.
the lawyers are the only ones who make any money on that deal, and everybody else has residual negativity.
Yes.
But I called the other agent, and
Okay.
I said, well, I'd like to send you a copy of my buyer's agreement with that person and split the deal with you.
Yeah. It work like that?
Yeah, it worked because it's somebody I've done a number of deals with, and she's got a very good reputation. She's with a different company, but
But she understands.
she said, I get it. She said, but we wrote the contract. I said, but I've written 2 other contracts for her that didn't go through and done all the legwork, inspections and everything else. And I mean, if you want to see all the time and effort I've put into that buyer, then we can sit down and compare notes. But for right now, I'm going to send you my agreement. I don't want to go after the buyer because she's an older lady, and I don't want to have any negative juju with her
Sure.
or bad mojo, So that's how I worked that out.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, there's going to be people who try to skirt their way around it no matter what.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just, it used to be before we used those on a regular basis, we would just say, well, a buyer can really work with whoever they really want to work with.
Right.
And no matter how much time or effort you'd put into it, they're still going to work with whoever they want to work with.
And we've all lost buyers that we've put a ton of time into.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the other side of that, on a seller, I'll tell you a story that happened to me. And I don't know that this has happened on a regular basis, but to anybody else. But I had a seller who wanted to sell her home, and her husband had passed away, and he was good friends with my husband. So I listed the house, and we started getting some showings. And this is back when people had to call and set up a showing at the showing desk.
You got to call the office.
Yeah, call the office. And she starts turning down showings, like 3 of them right in a row. So I called her up. I said, hey, what's going on? You're turning down these showings. I mean, we definitely can't get your house sold if you're not going to let people see it.
Right.
No, I want to take my house off
Step
the
one.
market. I said, oh, okay. What's going on? Because 3 days ago, you just couldn't wait to sell. Well, I said, why don't I just come out and we'll talk about it. So I take the withdrawal form and I go over what's the 60-day period of
Oh yeah. The protection period.
And she said, well, why would I do that? And I said, well, because the courts have determined that if you sell your house within that period of time, it's because of our marketing efforts.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I don't think that's right. And I said, well, it's just what it is. I said, but if you're not planning to sell, it really doesn't matter. So about a week later, my husband ran into another friend who he and this guy were good friends with. And the guy says, oh, did you know she sold her house? And Phil's like, no, I didn't know that. I was just out there with Jane last week. So I kind of waited. I made a list of the agents who had tried to sell or show the house and got turned down. I had all my phone logs calling her, So I waited until I knew she'd sold the house. And she sold it, and she cut the price by 6%.
By the commission.
And I turned it over to Busher, and he said, oh, we'll just give that to Mike Southworth. Mike Southworth sends her a letter, and she goes to her attorney, and her attorney looks at it, and he says, I think you better get your checkbook out. You owe these people that money.
Well.
So she had to pay us the full commission on the full asking price.
Well.
There you go.
There you go.
So I called the agents who had tried to show it.
Yeah.
And I found out who bought it. It was one of our competitors had the buyer, and he said, yeah, my buyers bought it. They knocked on the door and they bought the house. And I'm like, oh, really? I said, well, meet me for coffee. So I handed him half the money. I gave him a check for half of it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, it's tough because like we already kind of you brought it up before that like the used car salesman reputation, which, and I agree with you too. There are some very decent people in car sales.
Very fine people.
Right? I've made
Very
a TikTok
fine.
about that because I make TikToks a lot and people come after me and, well, you're just a glorified car salesman. And then I had to make another one. I said, why are you guys so mean to car salesmen?
Yeah, really.
There's some really good ones
there's
out
some
there.
very
They're just
fine-
trying to put food on the table. They're
There's
sponsoring your kids' sports teams.
That's right. There's some very fine car salesmen.
And then you just trash them. So, but we kind of get lumped in there a little bit with that too. And so it's easy to kind of like disregard the time and effort we put in to help you when, all honesty, you reached out.
Yeah.
Like I said, we didn't knock on your door asking to sell your house. You reached out. We go through all this to help you, and then you do something to cut us out of the deal. And it's, we have in our contracts the protection period, like you said, but we also have the paragraph that is the referral of prospective purchasers. Yes. Which is why I always say this means if anybody knocks on your door.
I tell them exactly that.
If your cousin calls you and says, hey, my friend
you refer them to me.
It doesn't matter. It goes to me.
That's right. You refer them to me. If you don't want me to work as a dual agent, my managing broker will designate somebody to work with that buyer.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what that means.
And I say you're not showing the house. You're not negotiating. You're not doing. This is why you hired me.
Yes, exactly.
So anyhow, but people still try to find a way to skirt the rules, and it's tough for us. And I mean, good for you for getting your commission that you deserved on that one that you earned. But it's tough for us because we're already battling like a negative public perception that we don't work hard and we make too much.
Yeah.
And so then if we start going after clients who violate our agreements and it becomes public knowledge, that's not going to help.
Well, the other thing is our what we get paid is so public. It's right there on the settlement statement.
Right.
We don't ask them how much money they make.
No.
I mean, we don't ask an attorney how much they make. We don't ask a doctor how much they make, you know. I mean, why do we have to be the guinea pig for exposing our commission?
I mean, it is.
It's out there.
It's out. This is. I mean, this is the life we signed up for.
That's right.
You know, and there's the good and the bad that comes with it.
Well.
But we just, you know, we could go do something else. But
Yeah.
we mentioned this before. We're all kind of crazy.
Yeah,
so we sign up for
we've
this
got
abuse.
a level of resilience that is unmatched.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree. So
in closing, my best tip is to always buy trip insurance.
Are you? Let's see. You're going to Nashville,
Yes.
and that's your last trip for the year.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to do more traveling next year?
Oh yeah, I've already got it planned.
What are you going to
18 days in Morocco and
Really?
20 some days going to the Panama Canal and doing a huge hiking trip in Vermont.
Who covers for you when you're gone?
A lot of times Sue Disco, Ann Ott, Jay Clark.
Because you're not on a team, are you?
No,
You're just solo agent.
I'm solo agent. Yeah.
So that's like another thing, because up until here recently, that's what I've always been too. But it's like, it's been tough to leave and go do things because I didn't really have the relationships built where I had people who would cover for me.
Yeah.
And but that's in the last few years, like I said, I've gone through a lot of changes of how I approach this whole business. And I've really gone out of my way to become part of, like the social part of this. And these are some really great people doing this job
we've
here
got some
at
really
our
great
office.
people.
And there are great people at other offices
Yeah.
too. We have there are some really, really great people who they're colleagues and lucky enough to call friends. And I'm just man, I don't know. I wish it wouldn't have taken me so long to open up to that, because I'm such a competitive person. I feel that I can't help but.
I kind of view real estate like a golf game. The only person you're really competing with is yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're setting good goals, then you're competing with yourself to accomplish those goals.
That's right.
You're not competing with Ketke or with Sue or with Jay or with Jamie or anybody else or Fritz or Melissa. I mean, we're not competing with each other. We're competing against ourselves. Just like when you're chasing that little white ball, you're competing against yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always viewed it. I'm not real competitive in nature. So I've been a strong advocate, especially when I'm working with first-time buyers. I was working with one last night out showing property in this crazy weather. And I said, you don't have to make a decision tonight.
Right.
I said, I find it's really helpful to go home and sleep on it. You get a lot of clarity by sleeping on it.
Absolutely.
Well, what about all the other people that might want to make an offer? And I said, well, even if they do, they're not going to accept it by 8 o'clock in the morning. You can let me know in the morning.
Yeah.
So I did. I wrote an offer this morning and put everything in there that they'd thought about during the night. And I think you've just got to really follow the golden rule. Treat people like you want to be treated. Don't force people into something they don't really want.
Right.
And the rewards come back.
Yeah.
Brian Buffini is a strong advocate that what you sow is what you reap. And I think that's true. So
I tend to agree.
If anybody's interested in doing 100 Days to Greatness, I'm a Buffini mentor, and I've done the class here several times. So
okay.
I'd be happy to start another class after the first of the year and get the first 100 days started off good. So
people could just reach out to you if they're interested?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, before we get out of here, I do have to... So I joined a couple of committees this year for the first time at CAR.
Okay.
And one of them is the Realtor Affiliates Committee. And they do what's called the wind down once a year. It's this upcoming year, it's going to be in February, and I'm supposed to start talking about this on the podcast.
Okay, great.
But it's going to be called an affiliate mixer. So it's not just an event to go drink wine.
Great.
There will be other things to drink too, besides just wine, and a bunch of food, and a bunch of good stuff, and a bunch of realtors, and a bunch of our affiliates.
Okay,
and
great.
so one of the reasons I wanted to sign up for that committee specifically was because we all have to do so much. Obviously, realtor to make transactions work and go smooth,
Right.
but there are so many people in industries that kind of orbit our industry
Oh, absolutely.
that we rely
Affiliated
on.
industries.
Yeah, that we lean on title companies, inspectors, appraisers, lenders. I mean, you name it. We all work together. Contractors, and that's what I believe that's what that committee is kind of centered around.
Yes.
And so this is going to be an event in February, and I'm going to have more information on it. But a bunch of people coming together to kind of just mix it up a little bit, and have some good food.
Yeah, as soon as you have the date, put it out to everybody here at the office, because that is always a good event.
Yeah.
Is it going to be at Carr again?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. Yeah. So I'm
All
supposed
the
to get more
affiliates
info.
who participate, they really do pull out the stops. They bring really good food. They bring, a lot of giveaways
Yes.
and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's certainly a worthwhile event, and it's a good way to get to know a lot of the lenders you've never met, or the home inspectors you've never met.
Yeah.
Any of the people, like you said, that are affiliated with our business, they show up.
Yes.
And then when we don't show up, it's really kind of an insult to them, because they've really pulled out all the stops to make it a really nice event.
Yes. And we lean on these people. I mean, you've been doing this long enough. You get in a pinch, all of a sudden something pops up, and that you've got people that you can make a call to, and they will make magic happen. And then we look like the heroes for it. Just because we had them in our contact list.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a great networking opportunity. So I'm going to have more info in the episodes coming up and talk about it a little bit more.
Okay.
But I wanted to start putting the word out there now so people know to look for that in February. It's going to be a super cool event. So,
okay.
Jane, is there anything else? Yeah,
No.
I think we did a good job. We're almost an hour 20 in. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah. See, it wasn't so bad, was it?
Wasn't so bad.
You did a great job.
Okay.
I'm glad you're feeling better. Your voice sounds strong.
Oh, thanks.
Jane Locascio, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Be back next week.